the show today.
You're welcome.
First question
Go on.
is, do you see yourself as entrepreneurial?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I suppose it kind of, yeah. I mean, I like entrepreneurial values. I've always been very interested in business, and I've always been very interested in strategy. So I suppose that kind of falls underneath that sort of bracket. I mean, with setting the sign cleaning channel up, it was something that I was quite interested in doing. Social media has always fascinated me, and I saw sign cleaning as like something that's visually appealing yet also serves a purpose at the same time. So like you get like rug cleaning and stuff like that, this satisfying cleaning trend, but it's just a rug being clean. Do you get what I mean? Like there's no actual like knock-on benefit from that. So when I like had the idea of the sign cleaning, I thought, well, you're creating visual appealing content whilst also serving a functional purpose at the same time. Yeah. So I thought that would be quite impactful on social media, and apparently so,
yeah. And was there sort of like a failure before that, or was there like, were you trying a few different types of channels or anything like that?
This is actually my first time.
Really?
So it's like quite fortunate, because I know a lot of people have sort of tried and failed quite a lot at social media before you kind of find your niche and what works for you. I was quite fortunate in the fact that if you go back to sort of the beginning as how this started, I kind of had an inkling that this would perform well. So the sign cleaning actually started from a PR campaign for a window cleaning business that I set up when I was 20. So I looked at the market when I was going into doing the window cleaning in my local town and looked at what every other window cleaner does in order to get the word out about their business. And they these guys would spend, 50, 60 pound a month or whatever on, promotion Facebook ads and stuff like that. But the reality is, if you look at that from an outside perspective, from the consumer point, how many times do you go on Facebook or whatever, you'll scroll through your news feed and you see a sponsored ad? Do you actually pay attention to it? On a level, unless it directly appeals to you, most people will scroll straight past. So for me, I looked at that as like, well, you're kind of throwing money away. And I also had spent all of my money on my equipment and van and insurance for the year and everything like that. So basically, everything that I had, I spent on sort of the infrastructure of the business, and I had no money left and had no customers. So I was like, well, something has to be done in order now to then start now generating the income and get the word out there for the business. But I can't do the same as what everybody else is doing, because what makes you stand out? Why should someone come and use your services and be aware of you before, you end up throwing money away that you don't have?
Yeah.
So I'd actually cleaned a conservatory roof for a friend of mine's, my nan's friend. And it was covered in like green stuff, like where you get like the green algae type build up. Yeah. And obviously I'd got really good equipment, and I cleaned it and it came up mint. And I was like, wow, this stuff's really effective at this. And on the way home, I went past a road sign, and I'd got my mum with me in the van, actually, funnily enough. And it was like a 30-mile-an-hour road sign, and it was so filthy. She went, look at the state of that road sign. And it was just completely off the cuff, like a random thing, and you couldn't read it. And I looked at it and I went, it's the same green stuff. So I cleaned it. Right, I pulled over and I just cleaned it. I took a photo before and I took a photo after, and I cleaned it. And it was like a complete transformation. And I thought, you know what? That's actually like a bit of a clever angle as to what you could use here to impact the community, for you to go, I've done this. What do you guys think? Don't go at it with a business approach. Clean the signs, do something for the community, and in return, you build up a little bit of like a rapport. Do you get what I mean? Like it puts you on the map, so to say.
Personal brand.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I did, and I went around the town, and I found any green road sign that I could, and I just cleaned them. I took a before and after photo, and I posted them on the local Facebook page. And I basically said, like, look, to anybody, because friends and family that had used the, kind of inflated it a little bit, and it was like, thank you to everybody that's used my services in my window cleaning business. It's been quite hard getting this off the ground, but appreciate the help from everybody. Basically, I've gone around and I've cleaned these road signs, improve road safety and the aesthetic of anybody visiting the town, etc., etc. It's as a 20-year-old lad setting up his own business, and this is a bit of a thank you to the community, basically. And yeah, that was wild. a few thousand likes within the day, and that was it.
Yeah.
Boom. Then local newspapers in touch. They're running a whole story on it, and then 3 days later, Sky News are on the phone. They want to run the story on TV, and BBC come out, and then they do a whole filming thing with it. Like, it was the snowball effect was just insane, and that gave me the impression of the social media. Because it was like, well, this resonates with people. Because I think in 2019, I think it was the highest viewed video that the BBC actually uploaded on their social media. It was like 60 odd million views on Facebook or whatever. And obviously after that, they're then ringing me up like, they want me on the One Show, they want me on everything. They had me on a train and a driver from King's Cross straight into the studio and all sorts of stuff. So that kind of gave me the idea of now creating content with the road signs, knowing that, well, this does actually resonate with people because, one, there's the political side of it, which I steer clear of. I don't really get involved in that, but a lot of people are like, well, why are they even doing it in the first place? And the other side of it is it's visually appealing and serves a purpose. You're actually improving road safety, like 30 signs, school signs, hospital signs, all of these kind of signs are there for a reason, from a safety standpoint for road users. So when you're going out and cleaning them for free, but people are also simultaneously enjoying watching you clean it, you double bubble. And I think that's why it's been as sort of impactful as it has. So, yeah, I'd say I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as entrepreneurial. I'm probably quite humble in that aspect, but it was quite calculated, to go forward with.
What's the plan? Because obviously you started it, I think like most things you find in life is sometimes you don't have the best goal with it, but some things open up and you go down different platforms and avenues. So what would you say is like the next goal for it?
I think proceed with the sign cleaning. Keep the base structure of the channel. But like I said, social media has always fascinated me. So what I would like to do now is sort of diversify the content that I create. So I'm interested in cooking. I like cooking. I've always loved the idea of making food content and these kind of things. I also like fitness. I like travel. I like business and these kind of things. And there's a few things that I would be happy to create content on that I think would appeal to like the audience that I've got. Because like my channel is quite unique in the sense that, it's not gym, it's not food, it's not a niche thing like that where people only follow it for gym wear. Like the people that follow my channel will be interested in all sorts of things. You know what I mean? So it's got such a diverse audience, that I can actually, like, if I was to start doing food recipe, like creating reels, let's say I cook a nice meal and I make a good, well-edited video of me creating a certain meal, so to say, and then with the recipe below, that would probably resonate to a large section of the audience. So I think I would like to keep the base structure of the sign cleans, 3 or 4 sign clean videos a week, that kind of thing, and keep doing that, but also start to now incorporate some different things. So I've actually changed the bio on the channel now to like travel, wellness, food, and sort of gym and that kind of thing. So as anyone that comes to the channel now is now aware in the bio, this is what to expect. This is what to expect from this channel, Nice. And I'll start to seed it in with stories first. I'm not going to go shock the system and just start posting stuff that's completely off topic. I want to gradually sort of bring this in. Yeah, that's sort of future plan for the channel. Yeah, is proceed with it and keep it going, but start to now diversify the content. The channel's got just under sort of 700,000 followers now. I'm in a position where I can start to maybe just play with and test the water a little bit and see what works with people. But I mean, I kind of, for as long as I've been doing this, I've just gone with the flow. Yeah. Really. And I just roll with it. And I don't really have like a set plan, like this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Like I just roll with it, really. Yeah. And rolling with it has done well so far. So I think I just take it as it comes and adapt for as long as I do that.
Of course.
Yeah. And was there a point when you sort of first started to monetize from it?
That was the beginning of this year, really. So it was 2 years ago that I started the TikTok, just over 2 years. I've always done this for free, the sign cleaning. And when I first set the TikTok up, obviously I was doing this FOC completely voluntarily. And it was quite successful. I think we grew to like 150, 160,000 followers on TikTok. I only did TikTok. And then I stopped because of work commitments. I just didn't have time. I just had to stop doing it. And then when I did have more spare time, I sort of came back to it. And then the monetization started probably around sort of 8 months in
And
to
was
creating
that through
content
the
again.
sort of TikTok? and
Initially,
stuff like that,
Creators Fund.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the beginning of this year, that was when the brands and stuff started to approach. And I think that's because you're more of a long-standing channel. You know, you've been in here now for
Not just one and
over
done
half
kind
a
of
year.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So obviously, brands aren't going to put themselves to something that's not like a long-standing sort of thing, and there's consistency to it. It initially came in with people basically supporting what I do. You know, Regatta, they've been a pretty stable supporter of the channel for quite a while now. They provided me workwear. So initially, obviously, I didn't invest anything into the channel. I never made anything from it, so to say. And then it sort of all happened quite organically. So Regatta approached me. They were like, look, you know, do you want some high vis? We make workwear. Like, do you want some workwear? And, you know, would you do a story on it? I was like, yeah, of course I will. So they sent me out some workwear, and I was actually really impressed with the quality of it. So I was like, I sent them a message back, and I was like, would you be interested in doing something a little bit more like consistent? They got back to me. I was like, yeah, we'd love to. So that's been a nice way to do this now, because now, sort of through sponsorship side of things, that kind of supports the channel. It allows me to do more with the channel as well. So obviously, when it's at your own expense, it's difficult then, because if I wanted to go and spend a weekend away in Scotland, so to say, because I get requested to go all sorts of places, that would obviously be at my own cost. But now I can go there, and it's paid for, you know, through sponsors.
Yeah.
I still go out in my own time and clean road signs free of charge. Nobody gets charged for me cleaning road signs, but sponsorship side of things makes things like that a lot easier to sort of invest it back into the channel. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting, because we're sort of, you're saying about it going with the flow, and it's almost like winging parts of it and stuff like that. But with those big brand deals and stuff like that, you still need the sort of mental aptitude and the sort of nous to be able to go back to them and say, can you do this on a more regular basis?
Yeah.
Where do you think that came from?
I think that's just me as a person, really, to be honest. I look at something objectively. I am somebody that always, I reevaluate my situation quite regularly. I think it's important for you to sometimes take a step back from everything and look back, not get too wrapped up in the moment, take a step back and then evaluate your situation and think, well, this is like, obviously for me, this is so new for me. I'm actually a massive social media like introvert. So all the way up until the Sign Guy channel, you would not see me like doing the happy birthday post on stories. No, I don't post. Like I literally don't go on social media. So for me to now be in this sort of like limelight, so to say, of social media has been a bit of a change. But when it started to grow like significantly, like, you know, sometimes I've had the channel bring in like 7,000+ followers in a day. And I was like, well, there's something here. Like this is significant, you know, like to watch this. So then obviously you get the light bulb moment. You start to think, well, what do you do with this? Because if you don't act on it and you don't think about these things, then you're wasting an opportunity that's in front of you. And it's not about going out and cleaning road signs just to make money. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that. But like if I was going to do the road sign cleaning, which I enjoy doing because it's quite therapeutic to do and it's quite rewarding mentally to make a difference and have such a supportive online community, if I can simultaneously monetize that, then why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? The opportunity is there. So be calculated about it and think about it. Obviously, I don't want to saturate the channel with adverts. That's not what I'm looking to do. But if I can have brands that I work with long-standing that support what I do, then yeah, I would like to put them in place.
Are you looking
100%.
at getting more sponsorships?
Yeah, so not too many. I'd like to try and keep it quite reserved because for me, I mean, anybody that I watch on social media, there's nothing worse than seeing somebody sell out. And I want to keep the base structure of the channel, but at the same time, I think there's nice symbiotic relationships that you can build up with brands. So if people still enjoy your content, but simultaneously you can also work with brands and promote them, and then they fit organically into your life or your lifestyle or the nature of your content, that kind of thing. And that's a progressive thing. I think, especially if we start to diversify the channel a little bit more and bring some other different things to it, I think once again, go with the flow, and that everything will sort of work itself out from there. But unless I make that change to start to open the door for those opportunities, then, you know, I don't think that would ever happen. Do you know what I mean? So I think the first move is on me to start to bring in that different sort of flavor to the channel as well. Keep the base structure, but bring in a little bit of a different flavor, and then just kind of see what happens from there. I always prefer people to come to me rather than to outreach.
Yeah. And we said in the pre-chat, sort of, you're doing this alongside a full-time job.
Yeah.
And you just go a little bit into what you do on the daily.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah. So I'm actually a commercial spray painter. So we've been in residential for the last sort of 5 years now. We used to spray like UPVC windows in kitchens and stuff like that. But as of more recently, we've changed the angle of the business now to be in sort of commercial painting. So niching into like specialist coatings, so like fire retardant coatings and like anti-corrosion paints and these kind of things, which it's very demanding. You can't just be anybody and start going out and spraying fire retardant coatings. Like the stipulation from the government is very strict. A lot of people avoid this in this industry for this reason. And it's demanding hours-wise. You know, I work really hard. I work outside working hours sometimes because obviously we can't work on site alongside other people because of the things that we're using. So we're in like air-fed masks and you know, full PPE ventilation systems and stuff like that. So I work long hours. So I mean, this week alone, I've done 82 hours this week, including traveling and stuff like that, and that's Monday to Friday. And then I'm up this morning. I'm out tidying my house because my house is like a dump because I've like the last 5 days I've only come home to sleep, and then I have to try and fit sign cleaning into this
so that's
as well and live 82 hours this week.
Just your normal job.
Graft, and then tomorrow morning, today was a lay-in for me. I was in bed till 8 a.m. and that was like, oh, what a dream. And obviously I've come to like the podcast and things like this. I always try and keep my weekends free. The sign cleaning is quite a nice one because it's as long as you can stay in front of your content, which admittedly over the last 3 weeks has taken a little bit of a dip just because I've been super busy, but like, as long as I can stay in front of the content and sort of keep like a sort of a buffer, so to say, where I've got like, I'm in front, so I'm uploading 3 weeks behind what I've actually created. I can kind of keep that going quite nicely. And then I like to go early morning, Saturday, Sunday, because the roads are quiet and you don't get the background noise. Unfortunately with road signs, they are by the side of the road. So when it's in the middle of the day and you've got lots of traffic, it's a lot of disturbance. It's not a great place to do filming, especially if I'm doing a post for Regatta where I'm talking about a product that they've sent me. I can't just be stood there like, oh yeah, and this is the new It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? It looks really amateur. It doesn't look great. So I like to head out early morning on a weekend. I'd rather go out at like 5 a.m. Sunday morning and be wrapped up for 10 a.m. And I've covered all sign guy responsibilities for the next week or 2 weeks from there. So it's quite a low maintenance sort of channel, so to say. The maintenance comes in on the side where I try and engage with as many people as possible. I get a lot of messages and things like that, so I try and involve myself with the community that follow the page as well.
Do people recognise you in public at all?
You know what? Not really. I don't appear in the videos too much. Most of it is just literally brush on sign. So I don't necessarily get recognised too much, but what I will say is that if I was to say to somebody what I do, I'd say, oh, have you seen the guy that cleans road signs with a brush? 50-60% of people go, yeah, I've seen that. And it doesn't matter what demographic they are. They could be 70 years old or 18 years old. Like most people have seen it. I actually want to conduct a little test actually in London. I was going to go into London and get a hoodie made up that says Liam the Sign Guy on it. I just want to walk through London and just see, like for my own little personal interest, just to see if anybody sort of notices the channel. Because obviously the channel's massive. Like we've done over like 650 million views now. So the reach is insane. But I've got the beauty of having that scale of views, but actually living quite low key. So I don't get recognized too much. So I kind of just get left alone, which I kind of like. But I was just intrigued to see if anybody actually notices it.
When it comes to the size, random, how do you choose the signs? You choose a specific location, or do you just kind of drive around and see what you find?
Drive around, see what I find. And it's I like a little road trip. So sometimes on a weekend, if I want to have a bit of chill time, I'll just go for a drive somewhere. I'll go get like a nice pub lunch, and I'll be like, right, I'm going to head to that area, and I'll go to that area, and I'll take instead of going on the motorway, I'll set the sat nav to no motorways, so it'll send me on like A roads and B roads, And you'll find signs. They are everywhere, mate. There's thousands.
Did you see any on the way here?
Yeah, loads, mate. Yeah, I've got him on my notes on my phone. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. So there's a lot. Yeah. But this is the beauty of it. Like, it's quite an adventure channel, so to say. So it's down to me. I can do whatever I want. Do you get what I mean? As long as I go somewhere and I find dirty signs, like I like exploring the country. I like going to different places. You know, there's so many beautiful little villages and towns and like pubs and stuff. Like with being a foodie as well, it's such a great way to, you know, I can on a weekend, common thing, you know, go out for dinner. So I'll find somewhere that I want to go out for dinner, and I'll be like, right, I'm going to head to that area. So let's say I'm going to go to Stevenage, for example, just to pull a name out of a place. And I'll be like, right, I'm going to go to Stevenage. What's the best place for pub grub in Stevenage? And then I'll go there. But on the way there, I'll look for dirty road signs. So then I create content whilst then going out for dinner. Yeah. So I go to a new location.
Do you have a camera crew that you use, or do you film it yourself?
I'm on my own. I used to have my girlfriend with me, but we've not fairly recently split up in a good way. Like we're still friends and whatever, but she was always my camera lady.
Yeah.
So from day dot, I've always had somebody film.
Yeah.
So now I'm working on a tripod.
I was gonna say tripod, yeah.
Which is a bit of an adjustment, yeah, because I'm now cameraman and sign guy, which is a bit different. But I mean, I've created some content with tripod, and to be honest, because I know where the camera should be and how I want everything from obviously her filming before, I've kind of got the knowledge of that. So I have gone and created some content with just me, and if you were to scroll through the channel now, you wouldn't tell the difference as to what's been filmed by someone else or by me solo. And obviously solo works well for me as well, because not many people want to get out of bed at 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning, mate, go out and clean road signs. So I don't mind. I'll go out and do it. So I ain't got to drag the poor missus out of bed now. Bless her. I used to have to persuade her with a Nero. But yeah, she's good. I imagine she'll probably come and help me again now. We're still friends. We still get on. She's even said to me that she'll come and help me do some filming if ever I wanted to. So,
but it's cool. It's good when you got to make it convenient for yourself.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to getting up really early, if you do it yourself, or sound, or if it's someone has to know the crack. Because at the end of the day, people don't want to. People would rather not do something at 5 a.m. But
100%.
Yeah.
I know it took a bit of persuasion sometimes. I'm like, come on. I'll book a holiday. Let's go. But no, bless her. She was pretty good. But yeah, so I mean, now I'm rolling solo. So for the time being, anyway. I mean, once again, go with the flow situation. We'll see how it works. But for the minute, I seem to be able to create the videos in the style that I like to create them, without it looking like a change to the outcome.
Nice.
Yeah. So
is there any sort of strategy behind the pages and when you're posting, or sort of what would your audience want, etc.?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, a lot of signs I'll clean without actually uploading or filming. Because of the channel now, and it's sort of existing for a while, the most visual transformation is the one that you want. So like, I'll look for signs that are like, the worse the sign, the better, because the more visually appealing it is. And especially when now I've had so many sort of viral hits, like we've had like 30 viral hits now, and the sort of, it increases the standard of the quality of the video that you have to then create. So you can't just start throwing anything out on the channel. Like, I'll clean some signs if they're like a little bit dirty or whatever. It takes me 2 seconds. I'll just jump out and scrub them with a brush and then carry on. But I'll only upload videos that I think, this is actually worth uploading. Someone's going to watch this. Like, would I watch this? And if it's a yes, then I'll upload it. But that's become increasingly difficult because of the channels now. So loads of window cleaners, loads of exterior cleaners. Everyone's like jumped on it now, which is kind of reducing the amount of like really good dirty signs to find, because there's loads of other people doing it. People have seen the views and they're like, oh, I'll have a stab at that. But a lot of people come and go, because they're looking at it on the views perspective, and they're like, all right, well, we'll do it, and then we'll build the channel up like that. But it doesn't work like that. I've done it for free for years before getting up to like this.
You're the most consistent.
That's it. Yeah, and the consistency and doing it at my own expense for so long has now allowed me to be in a position where I've got a large following. The accounts are trusted by algorithms and stuff like that. So, and obviously now I profit from cleaning road signs voluntarily, but a lot of people sort of come and go, and you see people pop up and clean road signs and they disappear as fast as they sort of arrived, if you know what I mean. But it's making it increasingly difficult to find very dirty road signs because the reach of it's been so crazy that you'll get a window cleaner even in this area, for example, sees a dirty road sign. Well, he'll clean it and film it and post it on his local Facebook page. Well, it takes 10, 15 years for it to get that dirty. So I'm running out of dirty road signs. Yeah, like really, really good ones. But you find them. If you look hard enough, you find them. I think I'll always be able to find some. But there's definitely a lot more clean signs now than from when I first started. It's sparked a bit of a trend, so to say. Yeah, definitely.
And then would you have any advice, not particularly for people that obviously want to clean signs? Because
I don't mind anybody doing it. Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't own it. Yeah.
Anybody looking to get into sort of content creation and build their channels up, have you got any advice for them?
Yeah, 100%. So consistency. First things first, consistency. Like I'm quite fortunate now to be sort of long-standing enough that if I don't post for a week or two, you know, the channel's built up like that algorithmic trust now. Like I can post a video now and a flop for the channel, so to say, is like 100,000 views. Obviously, when they do well, they go into like tens of millions and stuff like that. But consistency and quality of content. Don't rush to upload. Like just calm, chill. You know, be calculated about it. Like the best way to do it is look back at your own content and go, would you watch it? Just because you've said something that you felt like you wanted to say in it doesn't make it high quality content. You know, play with your camera angles, play with your script, play, you know, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and create several different versions of that single piece of content, you know, through CapCut. What length is it? You know, how many like little different stages have you got throughout the video? Is it better to work as a 20-second video or a 45-second video? What resonates with you the most? Like look at it from an outside perspective and look back at your content and look at it as though how somebody else would look at it, because the bottom line is that is your social media channel. It's not what you think of your video, it's what everybody else thinks of your video. So instead of looking at it as like your thing, look at it as it's for everybody else. It's not for me, it's for everyone else. So what's going to be the most visually appealing? I see this all the time. You see people on like threads and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, I've been doing Instagram for 8 months now and I've only got 1,500 followers and whatever. It's just Instagram's broken, its algorithm doesn't work and all that lot. No. Well, you're not looking back at your own content. You're not looking at it on how everybody else is going to perceive it, because that is the only value in your content, is what everybody else thinks of it. It's like my community that follow my channel. Without them, there is no sign guy. You know what I mean? Without them supporting my channel and commenting and dropping a like and stuff like that, there's no engagement, then there's no algorithmic push, then it doesn't push you out to this bigger audience. So if you're going to set up social media, don't rush to put content out there. What you want to do is you want to refine your content to the point where you look back at it and you go, I like that. And I think that that's going to work with this audience. You know, I'm doing, I don't know, workouts or something like that. So when you watch your video back, are you getting through everything fast enough to keep everyone's attention span? Or are you longing it out too much that people are going to watch 10 seconds of it and go, and scroll past it? Like, evaluate your situation. Don't rush to get the content out there, and make sure you're getting high quality content. That's the most important.
And would you say that's something that you've learnt whilst you're doing it, or did you sort of have an inkling of that before you started?
Yeah, it is actually. So the way that I sort of learnt this was, you know, I'm going to give an advice from somebody, you know, I'm telling you to make high quality content because I learned sort of the hard way, so to say. And that was that by creating sort of, you know, I'm going to put it bluntly, like videos, so to say, and not getting the high amount of views, was by doing that, once I did make a video that was visually appealing, that's when I got my first viral hit. So then you replicate. And if I look back at the first ever videos I uploaded now compared to the videos that I create today, I'm like, oh my God, like, what was I thinking? Like, I thought that was banging. Like, and then like, now I look back at it. But I mean, it's down to personal interpretation. But I think by doing something, this is why I say to people, you don't have to rush to upload, but keep creating content and then watch it back. And you'll see your own improvement without even putting it out there. If you want to put it out there and then test it, do like A/B testing, and you want to test it with audiences, then by all means test it. You know, each way works. Before I had the first video that actually performed, you know, I was doing sort of like 700-800 views, you know, like that jailbreak sort of stage of like TikTok that they call it. You always see the adverts, get out, 500 views. Like, I was in that stage for about 3 weeks, and then I created one video and it did 50,000 views, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's insane. And it's because the camera angle was different and the sign was really dirty. So before, I was just going and cleaning any old sign and then thinking, oh, well, here you go, this will work. But it wasn't until you had that big visual transformation, because the sign itself that I cleaned, the first one that did 50K, you couldn't actually read what the sign said. So that then obviously had a better retention time, because people were looking at the video and they didn't know what was underneath. And then once I'd cleaned it, you had this whole visual transformation, and then people were hooked then, because it was, once they'd started watching the video, they then couldn't stop watching the video until they saw it finished. It's like an itch. You get what I mean? It's like a hook. So the whole video is a hook. Like, once it starts, you go, what's that? Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the retention time. And then that did me like the first sort of 50,000 views. And then that was it then, because that brought in like 3,000 followers. And I was like 3 weeks in, 3,000 followers. I'm thinking, oh, there's something going on here. So then I worked to try and replicate that video. I was like, well, that performs compared to everything else. So then you have to try and replicate that video. And then I did. And obviously then, you know, like a few days later, I had one that did like 700,000, and that brought in like 20,000 followers. And I'm thinking, wow, like, this is growing pretty sharpish. And then it went on to being like 10 million in a video and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, so the best one I had on TikTok, and it even still is today. So it's my second highest viewed video. I've got one that's still consistently climbing at the minute. It's like 60.7 million at the minute. But I had one do 51.4 million. And that was my first viral hit. This is before I set Instagram up. This is everything else. And that one video brought me in over 110,000 followers.
Dear, that was a lot.
And obviously you guys do social media. You know, when you go on your notifications, you see like new followers coming in. It was like, so on TikTok, you scroll through the whole thing like that, and you let it load more, let it load more, let it load more, go all the way to the bottom as far as it'll let you before it gets to like suggested. And then go all the way to the top like that. And every single one of them, the longest one it would be was 1 minute. And it was, oh God, like 200 a minute they were coming in.
Christ.
So then over an hour, 60 times 200, that was like 1,200 followers an hour. Like, which was just insane, mate. Like the level of growth going on that. And that's the beauty of social media. Like, you get that, getting a big viral video is the craziest experience ever. Because like, for somebody like me who tries to always engage with everybody, you get one of them, forget about it. Forget about it, because you got no chance. You can't. You know, the video's got like 3 million likes, 51.4 million views, 110,000 followers. It's got like, I don't know, 3,900 comments or something like that. I can't sit there and reply to everybody. Like, it'll happen. But it's mental to watch that, because I went out my way to create that video. And then when you see it work, you get like this such a good like sort of serotonin kick, you know what I mean? Because you tried to make that video and you did. And then you see it coming in like live in front of you. Social media never works consistently. Like, you never get like, if you look at the graph of growth, it's never a line. It's like, you know what I mean? It's all over. It looks like one of them earthquake readers. You know what I mean? Like, it's all over the place. Like, but when you get, you know, to anybody out there that's wanting to create a social media channel, like, don't be disheartened if it's flatlining for the first 5 weeks. Just give it a chance. Stay consistent. Don't lose hope. Keep your morale high. Focus on making quite like high quality content, and yeah, you'll hopefully, you know, you'll get a success out of it. And then when you do, it's a confidence boost. Yeah, because you then learn and you feel better, because you think, well, what I'm doing is resonating. You're not negged out. You know what I mean? You're looking at it positively. And ultimately, when you're looking at it positively, you're then going to create better content, snowball effect. You'll start to build your channel up. Yeah. And that's, you know, something that I've learned. I never in a million, if you'd have told me 5 years ago, you're going to have like 700,000 followers on social media, I'd have said, no, you're full of it, mate. No, never in a million years. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mad. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No,
today.
you're welcome, mate. Not a problem at all.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you very much.
No, lovely to meet you guys. Awesome. Nice to meet you both.
Cheers, mate.
No, you're welcome.
Nice one.